Hey, what's up everyone on YouTube? How y'all been? So that everybody, Zelda has asked me to do a video for you all. There's gonna be a few things that's gonna be keeping him occupied for a little bit here and there. So he's not gonna be on YouTube for a little bit here and there, which is no big deal. So he asked me to do a couple of videos for him on his channel for him, and this is one of the two videos that he asked me, one of the few videos he has asked me to do for him. And this video right here is gonna be a deck profile of my Cardfight Vanguard Kagero the X deck profile. Now, if you guys have been following me on my channel and all that such, you guys might know by now that this is kind of a deck profile that I kind of been digging and falling in love with for a very long time. I've actually won first place twice with my locals so far, and it's a deck that I definitely take a huge pride into. Definitely really love this deck very much here and there. So yeah, I'll be doing a deck profile of this deck right here, and yeah, show you all what I like about it, and yeah, go off the details from there. Alright, so here we go. Alright, start off with starting Vanguard. I play one copy of Lizard Soldier Fargo. For those of you who have subscribed to my channel, most of you are probably used to me playing Red Pulse Dragoon Kid. I actually, not too long ago, ended up deciding to take Red Pulse Dragoon Kid out for this guy, because Fargo seems to be a very more utility card than Red Pulse Dragoon Kid seems to be for an Overlord deck like this for such. Now, for those who do not know what Fargo does, Fargo is your Forerunner, so when you ride a guy type of him, goes graveyard circle. He has a skill of anytime during your turn, you can put this card in the soul of your Vanguard while your Vanguard is currently Overlord, and he gets the following skill. The skill is every time his attack is a hit, you can retire one of your opponent's units. So it doesn't matter if it's Rearguard, Vanguard, or all that such. As long as your attack happens to be a hit, his skill will go off automatically, and he can allow you to just hit off some rear guards you want to deal with. And your Overlords have a lot of utilities where they can just stand right back up normally, so he's very easy to utilize in a deck like this. And the best part about him, he has no counterbalancing or any required usability. He only requires is being put in Soul your Vanguard while your Vanguard is currently Overlord, and that's it. So if you Legion and put him back in your deck, if you happen to give him your hand, oh look at this, I got Fargo in my hand, and very conveniently, you can just reuse Fargo's skill all over again, and it can just be really fun to play with. And in the hands of the right person, you can set yourself up for a lot of cool, interesting combos that your opponent will definitely not like you for a very long time. So that was my starter. Now for the trigger lineup, we have, of course, your 4 heals. No explanation why this is important right here. And if you all have been subscribed to my channel by now, I think a lot of you guys will probably know right off the bat what I'm doing for trigger lineup. But for those who do not know, my favorite trigger lineup normally for most of my Vanguard decks is normally the 6 critical and 6 draw lineup right here. I like playing this lineup right here over all other options of trigger lineups, is because I can still be aggressive and be able to inflict in as much damage as I possibly want to, while still being defensive and be able to draw into what I need to draw into the most right here. And Gatling Claw Dragons have a really nice ability where they can just be put back in your soul. They can be put in your soul by counterbalancing 1, and you can pop up a Forerunner or anything related to such. Whereas this guy, no cost, you can just put him in Soul your Vanguard, and you can choose one of your units, gain 3,000 power. So this is really good if you do need some soul blasting to use your burnouts or your tower wyverns. So you can use some nice, interesting Legion combos and other interesting combos here and there, which I'll get to very shortly. So yeah, typical 6/6. That's how I like to go. That's how I like to roll when it comes to Vanguard. Nothing really too much else I can really say for now. And that is it for the triggers. For the grade 1s, we have 4 copies of Protect or Dragon. Nothing really too special. He's a perfect guard with the ability of, if you successfully nullifies the attack, choose a card face down your damage or turn face up. You don't have to play Protect or Dragons. You can just simply cut him out for playing regular perfect guards, and it would function just fine. I like having him because just the ability, even now, you're not always going to need the ability to flip a card face down with damage, turn face up, but just the fact you can get that whenever you need it the most, it's always very reliable. It can definitely get you out some more jams, and just the ability where you can potentially do some more great serious skills here and there can definitely allow you to go long ways where not too many people would normally expect Kageros to go every now and then. So yeah, 4 Protects. And then next up, we have 4 Instant Strides, because Vanguard has gone to a point where a lot of people are going to be striding a lot, so why not 4 Instant Strides. Next up, two Reclamatory Tower Wyverns. When you call the rearguard circle, Soul Blast 2, draw one card. Not only gives you a free draw whenever you call him, but but also at the same time, since you're playing a Legion deck, you can always use his ability to Legion. You can always use his ability to put the cards that you want from your drop zone, from your soul, to go to your drop zone, so that way you can Legion them back into your deck, all that such. Now this is definitely very good in a deck like this, because there are going to be some plays where you're going to ride an X on top of an X, and you want that previous X back to your deck or such. So when you call your Tower Wyverns, you can Soul Blast when you X's, so that way when you go to Legion, you can get that X back in your deck, that first X back in your deck, so you can be able to do some more Legion plays there. Hopefully you're able to keep track of what I just said right there. And to finish our grade 1 lineup, 3 copies of Dragonic Gojo. A lot of people seem to underestimate this card. Now I know Gojo, in the eyes of a lot of people, he's not really as good as he used to be. In my honest opinion, Gojo is still a great card. Just the fact that you can just rest him, to pitch a card, draw a card, is always very helpful. We're playing a Legion form. We're playing the era of Vanguard, where we're going to be Legioning and striking a lot. So when you use Gojo's abilities, like let's say you only have 3 cards in your drop zone, just use Gojo's ability, just rest him, pitch whatever card you want, go back in your deck, draw one, and then boom, do your Legion right there. And even if you don't want to use his skill, he is still a decent 7 booster for your front row guys. So all in all, Gojo is still a very great card to have around, in my opinion. Just to have an option of either a 7k booster or a rester to pitch a card, draw a card is always handy to have around when you need abilities like this at the last resort. And that is it for the grade 1s. Now for the grade 2s, we have 4 burnouts, probably an absolute staple for Overlord decks when it comes to Kagero. We just call it Rearguard Circle. Yeah, we play some Rearguard Circle, Soul Blast 1 to put an Overlord from your drop zone and bomb your deck, and then retire off one of your opponent's rearguards. This is definitely a step up compared to Berserk Dragon. Not only he allows you to pick off any rearguard, which is definitely a huge improvement, but also at the same time you can recycle your Overlords while also Soul Blasting whatever card you want Soul Blast, so you can either have more targets for Legion plays, or you can Soul Blast an Overlord from your Vanguard to put an Overlord back in the bottom of the deck that you just Soul Blast, and then be able to still be able to recycle with your big plays from there. Next up, for Burning Horn Dragons, because he's your 12k attacker for Overlord decks, so why not? And then last but not least, 3 copies of your grade 2 10k vanillas, just to have as an extra power to help you grind out, beat down stuff here and there, and when we get to the grade 3s, you'll definitely understand why I'm playing this over Neoflame Dragon. So yeah. But if you want to play this over Neoflame Dragon, even if you're not playing Dragonic Overlord the Great, Neoflame Dragon is still a very great, useful card, because you can retire every now and then, and Neoflame Dragon can help you with some certain combos in particular. So if you want to take this card out for Neoflame Dragon, that can actually work pretty well, just depending on what kind of playstyle you want to do, and how you want to mess around with your deck here and there and such. So yeah, and that's it for grade 2s. For the grade 3s, I play 3 max copies of Dragonic Overlord the N. Now, in most people's Kagero the X builds, most people like to play only 3 XS. No, I'm sorry, 3 of the N's, 4 XS, and then 2 copies of the Great. Not that I'm against that build. I have actually tried that build out every now and then, and it is actually a very fun build. However, I personally prefer this build right here over that build, is because every now and then when I play Kagero the X, there are actually quite a bit of occasions where the N actually does go into my damage very fast and very often as I thought. One time in one of my recent games, I once had 2 dotes in my damage, and I was thinking to myself, oh my god, thank god I convinced myself to play 2 X's, because if I was playing, let's say, 3 X's, or 3 N's, bear with me please, say I was playing 3 dotes, 2 that were in my damage, I could still Legion while my Vanguard is the X, and still go to Legion play and the X together, all such. However, since all my X's, so to speak, are in my damage, I will not be able to use the end Persona Blast ability. And one of the key goals of this deck right here is to be able to utilize the end Persona Blast ability. So it's very important that you get off as much as you could. And yeah, so that's why I play 4 of those, because if I play 3, I put myself in serious risk here and there. And I know a lot of people have been saying that riding into the end is a bad thing to do. Honestly, it's actually not as bad as most people claim it is. Now, yes, we are in an era of Vanguard where we're all about legioning and striding a lot. And of course, I can speak for every X player where we would rather have the X as our current main Vanguard than the N for obvious reasons. Yes. But keep in mind, you have to look at various things in particular. First of all, hitting the N's Persona Blast ability, even without the X, is actually not as hard as people claim it is. As long as you got a good booster backing them up, and as long as your opponent gets cocky and they underestimate what they got going on and all that such, you can actually land a Persona Blast ability without having to get the X involved every now and then. And second of all, another thing that's also important about the X, the N, is keep in mind we're in the era of Vanguard where people are going to be striding a lot. So even if you do end up riding into the N instead of the X, it's not the end of the world. If you happen to have an extra N in your hand, you can either say the N for a Persona Blast, or if you want, you can just pitch the second N for do your stride and such, and then when you go into you ride again, go into the X, then you can do like some sort of play where you get your other N's back, have these guys out, and just do some crazy combos right there. So having max N's is definitely underestimated by a lot of people, and it's definitely not something that a lot of people need to take note of how good the N can definitely be. And of course, we can't play Kagero DX build without, of course, this guy right here. 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord DX. Legion 22k, his main is Dragonic Overlord the N. When you're first Legion, you can add 1 copy. He has 2 abilities besides his Legion ability. His first ability is when you first declare into Legion and get this guy out. Should be like this way, I believe. Don't quote me, please. When you declare Legion and get these 2 guys out, you can automatically search out for 1 or 2 cards. You can either search out another copy of him or another copy of him. And what's really great about that is that the N's ability, even though he is technically your mate, he is also technically your Vanguard. So if you use X's ability to search out the N and you land hit with your attack, whatever such, you can use the N's Persona Blast ability to stand them right back up and attack again. And also, he also has, or you can also search another copy of him, which I'll get to another reason why that's important. Actually, I'll get to it right now. His final ability is when his unit attack is not a hit, you can counterblast 1, pitch a copy of the X, otherwise known as Persona Blast. When you do, you can retire 2 of your opponent's rear guards. I believe it's your choice, actually. Choosing to go from here, retire at the end of the battle. This unit attack. If this attack did not hit during the battle, it causes you to choose up to 2 of your opponents. Yep, it is actually your choice. So, even if for some reason your X does not land any hits, what makes the X very great and reliable is that unlike the N, it gives you a little bit mellow out situation. Like instead of counterblasting 2 cards, you only have to counterblast only 1 card, and then just Persona Blast the X, and then you can just retire off some rear guards that you don't want to deal with. So, let's say you have a huge field presence, like let's say a Burning Horn Dragon and a Burnout on your side of board, and you're ready to nail in your opponent. Just use whatever you get on your twin drives and just give the power to those guys. Then use the X's Persona Blast ability to just retire some stuff right there. And another thing what I like to do with the X when I do my Legion plays is what I'll actually do now then is I'll go to Legion. Like as long as I have at least 1 extra N in my hand, I'll go to Legion, search out the X, and then next turn later, let's say something happens where things go my way, I'll ride into another X. Play, where is he? I just had him earlier. I do not know where he is. There he is, Clamatara Wyvern. Call Clamatara Wyvern, Soul Blast your other X and your N, and then go to Legion, and boom. Just be able to do some really fun plays all day long. So, yeah, the X can just allow you to just do a lot of fun plays here and there, which is just ridiculously awesome. And that is it for the main deck. And as I kept on mentioning, we're in an era of Vanguard where we're striding a lot, so it makes no sense not to end the deck profile without at least showing you all what I got for strides. For strides, I have currently 2 copies of Divine Dragon Knight Maham. Nothing really too special about him. When his attack hits, I can retire one of my opponent's rear guards. Nothing really too special. Just a generic stride, guys. A stride card for Kagero to ride into and such. So yeah. And next up, I play 4 copies of, well, technically 3 copies. I did order the 4th one recently. The 4th one will be on its way very shortly. So anyways, 4 copies of Overlord Dragon King. Pretty much an absolute staple guy to stride into when it comes to Kagero in general. Persona flip, and then you can choose a column, and all units of that column on your opponent's side of the board is all retired. So it gives you a little bit of Petition style plays, and what was really nice about Overlord is there's no counter blasting or anything related such to go off in order to use his Persona flip ability. Just flip another copy of him from your deck face up, and boom, you can retire 2 rear guards. No counter blasting, no ditching cards or anything such, nothing. Just 1 Persona flip, and boom, you retire 2 rear guards, and then it just allows you to be aggressive and just annihilate your opponent's board right there. And Overlord Dragon can just be a devastating, huge beast against your opponent. And just like the 4th Overlord Dragon, I do not have this next copy of this card right here. This is supposed to be 2 copies of this card. I did order the 2nd copy. It's coming in the mail very shortly. And that is 2 copies of Dragonic Overlord, the Ace. Now, what he does is when... Now, I'm going to have to read him because it's been a while since I read him. His ability is counterblast to choose a face-down Persona flip. But if the number of face-up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, until end of turn, this unit loses one drive, pretty much against a twin drive instead of triple drive. And this ability, choose a card from your hand and discard it. Choose a card with Overlord's name from your hand and discard it. At the end of the battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. You may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit, and this unit gets plus 5 of the power to end of turn. So what this means is, just like pretty much like Dragonic Overlord Rebirth, as long as his first attack does not have to be a hit, as long as you pitch 2 cards, well, you counterblast 2 cards, and as long as the 2 cards you pitch from your hand is at least an Overlord, which should be no problem because this is an Overlord deck, you can get this guy's ability to attack again. And if I read this, and if I remember this card correctly, the first time you attack with this guy, he gets a triple drive check, so you don't lose your first one of your drive checks yet. And then the second time you attack with him, then he loses a twin drive. So pretty much you get 5 drive checks total out of one guy, which is actually pretty ridiculously good. So you attack with him first, attack your Vanguard. Okay, whatever happens, it happens. He attacks, then activates his ability. He attacks again. Regardless, he loses a drive, so he gets a twin drive, still triple drive. And then depending on what you get on all 5 of your drives, you're just able to just open up with a huge amount of portion cards in hand, and just open up with some huge amount of good triggers that you can just use to have fun with your opponent all day long. So, yeah, that's right there is Overlord DS right here. Now, only 2 aces and still 4 is because of 2 reasons. One, I don't have as much money as I thought I was gonna be, so I'm not gonna be able to go too crazy. I'm going after the other 2 aces yet. And 2, with the way how Kagero is built right now, I feel like only 2 aces is really necessary. Because by the time you get your Roof Flares, your Mahan, and your X's going, the 1 ace alone should be enough to be almost guarantee you game right there. So I feel like 2 aces is just fine right there alone. And yeah, everybody, that right there was my Kagero the X deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you really like this type of stuff you like to see, check out my channel. My channel might be in the description down below. I do a lot of Cardfight, Vanguard, Kagero, and Narukami stuff, while also it's a Yu-Gi-Oh channel as well, where I do a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh Dragon stuff as well at the same time. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace.